What's up, fifth grade? This is Mr. Rindo, and today's challenge problem is challenging. I'm not going to hold back on that one, guys. So let's get started and let's talk about what I'm going to challenge you to try to do today. Carson desperately wants to be a lifeguard someday and knows you need to be able to hold your breath underwater for a long time in order to be one. He's been practicing each day, and below you can see how long he was able to hold his breath. So you guys can see the table. On the first day, he was able to hold his breath for 9 1/3 seconds. And on day two, he was able to hold it for 10 2/3 seconds. And on day three, 12 seconds exactly. And then on day four, 13 1/3 seconds. So you guys can see that he is definitely improving from day to day. The question's asking, if Carson continues to improve at this rate, how many days will it take him to get to the point where he can hold his breath for 1 whole minute? So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the target on this table. We see how we see on the fourth so you are going to go ahead and try to find out, hey, like on which day will he finally be able to hold his breath for a total of 60 seconds or 1 minute? So yeah, go ahead and pause it, give it a second, and then in a moment we're going to go ahead and kind of continue because you might be able to solve this, but I want to challenge you to try to find it in a different way as well. So go ahead and give it a shot and see what you can do. Okay. All right, welcome back. So, guys, here's the thing that I think you probably noticed, but there's definitely some patterns as it relates to the days and seconds. So I think we can see that every time the day increases by one, the number of seconds is increasing by 1 1/3. I think you probably noticed that pattern. And it's true. Every single day, he seems to be able to hold for 1 1/3 second longer than the previous day. So, to be real about this, if we actually wanted to find out, hey, on which day will he be able to hold his breath for 60 seconds, we could just keep going. And I've seen kids actually go ahead and try it. Like some kid in my class was like, "Yeah, okay. And that means that on the fifth day, it's going to be 14 2/3. And then on the sixth day, it's going to be 16. And then on the seventh day, it's going to be 17 1/3. And they kept just going and going and going until they found out which day ended up landing on 60 seconds. And if you did that and you actually put in the work, that good for you for showing the perseverance and work ethic to do that. But what I want to tell you is that there's a more efficient way of solving this than that. Because we see that every time it goes up one day, it goes up 1 1/3 seconds. There's definitely a pattern here, but there's a deeper pattern than perhaps we see. So what I want to do is I want to show you this problem right here because I've more or less taken the same data and I've put it on a table that looks like this. So you can still see day number and the number of seconds. And you can see that what we're still trying to find out is the number, which day will he be able to hold his breath for 60 seconds? Now, if this is starting to look familiar to you, it's because perhaps you have started working with X, Y tables. Okay. So I'm sorry, I need to move this out of the way for a second. There we go. So sorry, that's supposed to be a Y. Let me forgive me here. So this will be X and this will be Y. And if you are in one of my math classes, I have told you that we are oftentimes looking for the pattern that describes the relationship between X and Y. So in this situation, I'm actually looking at X and I'm saying, hey, like what is happening to X? Every time that it would turn it into Y, how does X become Y? Now, some of you guys might look at this and say, oh, well, on this one, they added 8 1/3. And that's true, but that's not what happened here. And that's not what happened here. And that's not what happened here. So that's not the rule. So what you are looking for is you are looking for a change to X that would turn it into Y that works for every single one of them. Because if you find that, then you can use that rule to identify what the missing day number would be. So go ahead and give it a shot. See if you can find the rule or the relationship between X and Y. Because if you do, and this is not easy, by the way, it's still going to be hard. But if you do find that rule, you can then use it to find out that missing day. So go ahead and give it a shot. Ready? Go ahead and do the video. Okay, welcome back one more time, friends. So here's the deal. You probably tried a lot of different things, and you maybe didn't find the rule because this one is not easy. I want to point out, by the way, that we could actually take this information, we could graph it on a coordinate plane if we want, because every one of these could be considered an ordered pair. So you could go ahead and draw a coordinate plane, and you could start by going over one and then up one. You can actually graph that point over on one and then up 9 1/3. And then you can do the next one too. You go over 2 and then up 10 2/3. So over 2 and then up 10 2/3. So this data could actually be graphed. And if you graph that, it would end up forming a perfectly straight line as you go. So if it forms a straight line, that means that there is a linear equation that represents it, and an equation that describes how y and x are related to each other. So I'm not going to make you try to figure it out at this point. I'm going to go ahead and show you what that equation is or what that rule is. So what we need to do to x every single time is we need to multiply x times 4/3, which is the same thing as 1 1/3. But then after you do that, you would need to add 8. So think about that. I just said 4/3 is the same thing as 1 1/3. So if I multiply 1 times 1 1/3, it would equal 1 1/3. And then when I add 8 to it, it becomes 9 1/3. Now let me move that down. And let's try it again. 2 times 4/3 is the same thing as saying 2 times 1 1/3. And that would give us 2 2/3. And if I add 8 to that, that would give me 10 2/3. Let me move it down again. If I do 3 times 1 1/3, that would give me 4. And if I add 8 to that, that would give me 12. So this rule right now, this is the rule. Every single time, we would take x and multiply it times 4/3 and then add 8 to it. So now let me move that all the way down here. If I do that, we don't know what the missing number is, but we know that when we multiply it times 4/3 and then add 8 to it, that it will end up equaling 60. So what we're going to do to find the missing day is we are going to work backwards. We're going to go the opposite. So we're going to start with we're not going to multiply by 4/3. We're doing the reverse. We're going the opposite direction. So we're actually going to divide it by 4/3 instead. Now, maybe you've learned how to do this, and maybe you haven't, but essentially, if I say 52 divided by 4/3, I'm trying to find out how many groups of 4/3 there are in 52 wholes. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and take all 52 of these wholes and split them up into thirds, which means that 52 is the same thing as 156 thirds. And then I'm going to divide that by 4/3. And again, what am I asking myself? I'm asking myself, how many groups of 4/3 are there in 156 thirds? Which means that all I actually have to do is 156 divided by 4. And I'm going to do some quick math, guys. If you take any number and divide it by 4, you're essentially splitting it in half and then splitting it in half again. So half of 156 would be 78, and half of 78 would be 39. So what that means is that the day number, it would be the 39th day of practicing holding his breath, that he would finally be able to hold his breath for 60 seconds if this rate continued, if he continued to get better by 1 1/3 second every single day. So if you found that challenging, it's because it is. And when you get to middle school and you learn more about these types of problems, you will learn more efficient ways, even than what I just showed you. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to connect this problem to some of the work that you are doing in your math classes. This is far more advanced than what we've probably been showing you, but it does connect in terms of looking for those relationships between X and Y. All right, guys, I hope this was challenging for you. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good week.